Games are built on promises. Worlds to explore, battles to win, stories to finish. But what if the ending breaks that promise? Shatters it into a million pieces. Prepare to be heartbroken, mind-blown, and utterly blindsided. These are the game endings that nobody saw coming. We will start with Call of Duty 4, Modern Warfare. Call of Duty 4, Modern Warfare masterfully crafts a narrative that draws players into a high-stakes battle against Russian ultranationalists, with the promise of a traditional happy ending seemingly within reach. The game leads players on a thrilling journey, where they join forces with an international coalition to thwart a catastrophic nuclear attack. The tension builds as you fight through intense missions, each one bringing you closer to what appears to be a victorious conclusion. However, the game takes a sharp and unexpected turn in its final mission, ominously titled Game Over. This is where the narrative abandons the typical feel-good resolution, plunging the player into a brutal and desperate last stand. The mission is not just a climactic end, it is a merciless battle where survival seems almost impossible. As you struggle to fend off overwhelming enemy forces, the stakes feel higher than ever, and the grim reality of war is brought to the forefront. In this chaotic and intense final sequence, key characters who have accompanied you throughout the game, like Griggs and Gaz, meet their untimely and shocking deaths. Their losses are sudden, brutal, and leave a lasting impact, as the game offers no time for mourning or reflection. Instead, the deaths serve as a stark reminder of the unpredictable and harsh nature of warfare, stripping away any remaining sense of hope for a happy ending. Red Dead Redemption is next on our list. Red Dead Redemption initially gives the impression that the story wraps up after the West Elizabeth chapter. Here, players experience a climactic showdown with Dutch van der Leen, the elusive gang leader who has been at the center of much of the game's drama. The sense of closure is palpable as Dutch meets his end, leaving the player with a feeling of finality. However, what follows completely upends expectations, as the game refuses to let the story end on such a neat note. The epilogue shifts to John Marston's ranch, where the player is suddenly immersed in the simplicity of ranch life. At first glance, these mundane tasks, feeding cattle, tending to the farm, and spending time with family, seem to signal a peaceful conclusion. Yet beneath this surface of tranquility, a creeping tension builds. The unease is subtle but undeniable, as if the game is preparing you for something you didn't see coming. This quiet life is violently shattered when the army and government agents betray John. What was thought to be a peaceful retirement turns into a desperate battle for survival. The shocking turn of events culminates in a heart-wrenching final sequence where John Marston faces an overwhelming onslaught. In a moment both tragic and heroic, John steps into a barrage of gunfire, sacrificing himself in a final act of defiance. The emotional weight of this scene is immense, capturing the essence of John's character, his strength, his love for his family, and his acceptance of his inevitable fate. The game doesn't end with John's death, though. Instead, it shifts focus to his son, Jack Marston, who is now driven by a burning desire for revenge. This transition from father to son underscores the cyclical nature of violence and retribution, leaving players with a lingering sense of sadness and inevitability. The unexpected and emotional ending ensures that Red Dead Redemption stays with you long after the credits roll, cementing its place as a truly unforgettable experience. Next, we will talk about the Mafia. This game offers players a gripping tale of crime, loyalty, and betrayal, weaving together the life of Tommy Angelo, a cab driver who becomes entangled in the world of organized crime. The narrative follows Tommy's rise within the Salieri crime family, his growing disillusionment with the violent life he's chosen, and his eventual decision to turn against his former allies. The story feels like a classic mobster film brought to life, complete with the tensions and moral dilemmas that define the genre. As the game reaches its climax, Tommy makes the bold choice to betray Don Salieri, the very man who once offered him a place in the family. This decision leads to the downfall of the Salieri family, with Don being put behind bars and Tommy escaping to start a new life. For a moment, it seems that Tommy has achieved the impossible. a happy ending after years of violence and treachery. However, the game's story takes a sudden, tragic turn that shocks players to the core. The narrative fast-forwards to Tommy as an old man living a quiet, peaceful life, seemingly far removed from the chaos of his past. But the past, as the game so devastatingly illustrates, is not something that can be easily escaped. In a brutal and unexpected twist, hitmen sent by the Salieri family track Tommy down, ruthlessly gunning him down on his front lawn. This ending is as shocking as it is fitting. It underscores the inescapable consequences of a life spent in crime, where no amount of time or distance can truly offer protection from the past. The conclusion leaves a lasting impact on players, reminding them of the brutal realities of the world Tommy inhabited and the ultimate price he pays for his choices. It's a conclusion that resonates long after the screen fades to black, cementing Mafia as a story that doesn't shy away from the harsh truths of its narrative. Lastly, we will discuss Resistance 2. It is a game that immerses players in a world steeped in darkness and despair, where hope is all but a fleeting illusion. The game's atmosphere is drenched in a nihilistic tone, painting a grim picture of humanity's struggle against the relentless, alien force known as the Chimera. Throughout the game, the human race seems to be fighting a losing battle, constantly battered by setbacks as they attempt to stave off the overwhelming alien threat. The sense of impending doom is palpable, making the struggle feel almost hopeless from the start. At the center of this bleak narrative is Nathan Hale, the protagonist, who is tragically marked by an irreversible infection from the alien virus. This infection is not just a plot device, but a symbol of the inescapable doom that looms over Hale and humanity. As the virus slowly takes hold of him, it becomes clear that his fate is sealed. He is on a path that can only lead to his transformation into something monstrous, a fate worse than death itself. The story reaches its heart-wrenching climax, in a final twist that underscores the game's unrelenting grimness. In a desperate attempt to prevent Nathan from succumbing entirely to the virus and becoming a monster, his comrade Joe takes the tragic step of killing him. This moment is not just the death of a character, but the final nail in the coffin of hope. It is a stark and brutal ending that leaves players with a sense of utter misery. The good guys don't just lose, they are completely and irrevocably defeated. The protagonist's death feels almost pointless, a cruel reminder that sometimes, no matter how hard you fight, the darkness wins. Resistance 2 doesn't offer a comforting resolution or a glimmer of hope. Instead, it leaves you with the cold reality of its world. That sometimes the good guys lose, and they lose everything. This ending cements the game's legacy as one of the most hauntingly bleak experiences in the realm of video games, resonating with players long after the final credits roll. These endings weren't just shocking, they were gut-wrenching, world-shattering. They forced us to question everything we thought we knew about storytelling in games. The pain lingers. The questions remain. But one thing is clear. Games have the power to break us and rebuild us in ways we never imagined. Thank you for joining us today. If you enjoyed this video, please give it a thumbs up and consider subscribing to our channel for more content like this.